Okay, let's start with our demo. Our first presenter is my daughter-in-law, Diane. And she is doing the
cabbage carrot apple salad and the carrot pie.
oh man.
Oh, the hands.
I don't know about you, but eating lots of sweets to cope with emotions is kind of familiar. But that's why we're here, because we're going to learn some healthy ways of coping, even if it is a little sweet. So today I'm going to start with the carrot pie. Okay, so I'm kind of new to cooking. I've only been married for 6 years, which means I am newer than a lot of these veterans here. And I am the personal chef of my 2 sons. They're 7 months old and 3, and my husband, who is, very easy to please. So I like easy recipes, things that I can just throw together with the baby on my back, with the other one clinging to me or helping me. And he's really good at helping. He really likes to. So these are very simple, easy recipes that we can just throw together. They're actually not even my recipes. Our friend Cindy has these recipes, and they're just so easy to do that I can just step in and just whip it together. So let's start with our carrot pie on page 6. Very few ingredients. That's what I like a few ingredients you can put together that you can store in your cupboards that just come together super easily and really nicely. So we'll start with turning on our pot. And this one, we're just going to whisk everything in the pot. It's a 1-potter. You just put it all in, dump it into your pie press, and that's it. You can make your own pie press if you want to be fancy and if you have a lot of time and not a lot of kids. But if you need to be cooking fast, this is the way to go. So 2 cups of water right into the pot, and you're going to let it kind of simmer. You want to keep it moving so it doesn't burn, because we're going to put cornstarch in it to thicken it up. It kind of reminds me of like a Boston cream pie, but it's not as dense. Oh, it's a little bit dense, but not as sugary and not as chocolatey, because we're using a different ingredient. The star of this ingredient is carob, which you'll see on the next page over. It says carob versus chocolate. If you don't know what carob is, carob comes from the locust bean tree. They come in these long pods, and they process the bean. And the bean has a lot of calcium, has a lot of the good flavonoids and polyphenols that come with chocolate, but it doesn't have the caffeine. So it's kind of it's based on your preference, based on your taste. But we use a lot of carob at home because once I started breastfeeding, I stopped doing caffeine. And so I took away all the chocolate because baby was waking up at night and screaming. I was like, okay, I can't do chocolate anymore. So I need something else. So 2 cups of water, we're going to try to get it simmering a little bit. But before we do that, before it simmers, we'll just put everything else in. 2/3 cups of peanut butter or almond butter, whichever you prefer. And this is already pre-measured. So I'm just going to put it all in and whisk it all together. This peanut butter gives us the nice, healthy fats that you crave in sweets, especially in pies. And it also thickens it and kind of pulls it all together. So if you've ever had pies like cheesecake and things like that, if you're trying to make it plant-based, you need some kind of healthy fat. And a lot of times we use peanut butter, almond butter, or coconut oil, coconut cream, and that makes it really thick and nice. Oh yes, thank you so much. I think I have one right here too. Thank you.
Now, can we switch out the butters to be almond butter or cashew butter?
Sure, yeah, almond butter, cashew butter, those are all really good. I think peanut butter goes really well with carob, and so when you make it with the peanut butter, it kind of gives it a really nice rich flavor. Thank you. But yeah, whatever you prefer as far as the butters go. Cashew butter tends to be a little sweeter. Almond butter has a lot more, has different vitamins. And peanut butter has the highest protein content. So whatever you're going for, and that's the beauty of it, is just so much easier. Thank you. I should have used this whisk. Okay, we'll do don't know, it can be a little pricey. I don't know where it runs because I always get it on sale somewhere. You know, so Harrison, they have Benton, sometimes they'll have it, sometimes just other places, you know, if you know what to look for, you can just sometimes find it. Let's see, half a cup of roasted carrot. I'm just gonna put it on there. And it looks like this, kind of looks like cocoa powder. You can use it for making carob drink, kind of like hot cocoa. So that. And then cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, spread in there. Get that dumped in. Thank you, Miss Linda. You know Miss Linda's a pro. She's like, I got you, girl. I told my sister is a really good cook. And she was the one who became plant-based first. I was like, I'm gonna do a cooking demonstration. And she laughed. She's like, wait, I didn't mean to laugh, I'm sorry.
Risking it right away
Thank
because
you.
I'm not one box otherwise.
Thank you. And so she was like, you're cooking? Oh. And she was like, I didn't mean to laugh. I know you'll do great. I was like, it's easy. It's just gonna come together. It'll be great. So, we'll whisk the cornstarch and before it starts to clump. And that way you can thicken. The locust bean, where the carrot comes from, it also, that's where they get locust bean gum, and they use that as the thickening agent in a lot of things. So if you see like locust bean or locust gum, that's the same thing. Okay, we did the salt. We're gonna do half a spoon of honey, half a cup of honey, and then you're gonna just kind of cook it down until it thickens.
I'm not sure why, but she gave my brother one of those carob pies, and he has a blood sugar problem. So I don't know. He said I don't know why I took this, so he brought it to our house. It's good. I can tell you, it's very good.
Didn't have any trouble turning that down.
No, we did not. We did not turn that down at all.
So if you do have blood sugar issues, this is not a low glycemic index food. It will raise blood sugar, but it's a little bit better if you want a little bit, you know.
Right, just a small piece.
Yeah, because there's still fiber from the carob,
Right.
and there's still fiber from the crust if you're using like a walnut date crust or something like that. That's a little bit healthier than just a graham cracker crust. So it's a better alternative. So we don't say just throw out everything because that's not really realistic. But if you can replace it with something better, thank you. And then we're gonna put our teaspoon of vanilla.
Carob also has higher sugar content, which is a better sugar.
It is a
so
little
you don't
sweeter.
have to put as much sugar as you do chocolate, that's one nice thing about carob.
Does stevia work the same way as sugar in a recipe?
Stevia is different. I think it is like 1-to-1, but stevia also tastes a little different and it's from a different source. So it depends on who you ask. It's from a leaf, and so it depends on who you ask. It does not bring your blood sugar up as high.
But it also interrupts your stomach bacteria, so you don't want to eat it regularly or in large amounts.
Yeah.
Because it'll interrupt the communication between your brain and your good
I
bacteria.
don't have a big appetite for sweets anyways.
Yeah. Date
Just
sugar
curious.
is my favorite. Date sugar is, it's hard to find. You can order it through Azure and stuff.
We found like the best way to take sugar is in its whole form. And the sugar comes from sugar cane, right? Most sugars. And if you just eat sugar cane, I don't know if anyone's ever eaten sugar cane, you just cut it and you just chew on it and you get that sweetness, but there's so much fiber. Like God knew how to make sugar in a really tough way, it's not easy to get to, but if you process it down to the point where it's, just pure sugar, I don't think we were meant to take it in that form. That's why fruit has so much fiber. That's why the sugar, the sweetest things oftentimes have a lot of fiber in it. Also, if you eat sugar with protein, that tends to slow down how fast your body metabolizes it. So in Taiwan, where I'm from, we eat a lot of sweet beans with sugar, with like honey or maple syrup or dates. So we do like mung bean or red bean, and that slows down how fast it goes as well. But fruits, because they say fructose is not good, but a lot of fructose, you find it in like juices or in sodas or in drinks. Like that, just straight to the system will really raise your blood sugar. But if it's in a fruit form, your body is breaking down the fibers, breaking down the fruits, so that it's not going straight into your bloodstream. So your pancreas doesn't have to work so hard to produce insulin. Okay, so this is pretty thick now. This is how it looks. I mean, you can't even tell the difference from chocolate. But if you're expecting chocolate, you'll be disappointed. So it's different, but it still has that satisfying feel to it. Okay, so I'm gonna burn this. Okay, got it. Thank you. You just pour it in and let it chill. It's pretty hot.
This is like a walnut crust.
Yes, this is a walnut crust that you can just get from the store.
I didn't know you could even buy those.
Yeah, Benton Dead has them for $1 versus $4 at Walmart.
Where is that?
Benton Dead is in
Harvest
Well, on the way
Harrison.
to
It's a
Jasper.
secret.
Yeah, but don't tell everybody because then they'll all know the Walmart.
What time do you shop?
We go there for cereals. Like they have good, healthy, organic cereals, but then by the time we get there, they're always gone. It's like must be people from the church. They know where all the cereal is. Yeah, they have.
They had a Benton in Ohio, I didn't know they had one in Arkansas.
Okay. So
Now,
that is pretty much.
do you top that with some kind of a whipped cream?
You can. It might be hot. Not.
Yeah, you could get almond whipped cream, ready whip
Yes.
at Walmart, and I've gotten it.
I've seen it.
Oh, I haven't found it.
Yeah, I think
It's there with the other ready whip,
Is it in Mountain Home or?
Mountain Home Walmart.
I don't think the Flippin has it.
Flippin may not, but Mountain Home does, and I've gotten it. And it's I think it's almond, and in Ohio, I was able to get cashew or almond. But here, I haven't seen anything but almond. And I mean, I can't tell the difference between real whipped cream and that.
No, I think I need the honey.
Have you seen that one?
Okay, so with that, we're gonna go right back to the salad, to the very second salad on page 2, cabbage, carrot, apple salad. Yes, ma'am. And this goes really fast. So the star of this one is cabbage.
Yeah.
And cabbage is known for its anti-inflammatory properties. It's really good, like 1 cup of cabbage will give you about half of your daily value in vitamin K. So if you're taking warfarin or heparin, like a blood thinner, you want to avoid cabbage. But other blood thinners usually are okay. You have to check with your doctor. But this is a really good, it helps your blood to clot, basically. It helps your blood to flow well and to clot. What you want is to do, so if you get hurt, it helps it to clot well. When I was breastfeeding, my lactation consultant, she said to put this on any engorgement where you're stuck, or on bruises, on muscle pain, because cabbage is known to decrease inflammation, even externally. So she said just take a leaf of cabbage, break it up so the juices flow, and then just put it on there and wrap around it, and it works.
Wow. Things to know.
Pretty neat. So on bruises it works. They've used cabbage poultices sometimes. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's also anti-cancer. Cabbage is great. It's very high in vitamin C. You can get about 1/3 of your daily value of vitamin C in 1 cup of cabbage, raw. Vitamin C is water soluble, so if you boil it, all the vitamin C will leach out into the water. So if you drink the water too, you get your vitamin C. If you steam it, it's probably better, but they recommend microwaving. I don't like microwaving, so we just like eating it raw. But if you have a hard time chewing or anything like that, you probably want to steam it to maintain the water content within the cabbage. So 2 cups of sliced cabbage. A food processor makes it super fast, which I use all the time. 2 carrots peeled and grated, finely grated goes in. I like this because it's so colorful. There's just so much vibrancy to it. And then try to onions 1 bunch sliced, and we're gonna do 1 apple quarter sliced thin. Now would not be the time to cut myself. Green apple. Okay. We're gonna just slice it thin, and then we'll just turn it to make it into a matchstick. That's really nice because with the cabbage, you get that really hearty feel, and then the apple makes it sweet, and then you have your sour from the lemon, and then a little bit of honey for sweetness too. With the oil, it just kind of all comes together. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't crave cabbage. I don't crave greens all the time. But once I start eating it, it's like, oh, my body needed this. This is great. Same goes with like dark leafy greens. Like salad's not my favorite, but once I start eating, it's like, oh, I could eat a lot of this.
Does it matter what kind of apple you use?
Probably not. This is more for sweetness, but if you like the sourness of the green apple, then it's nice. Yeah. But it's really up to you. Whatever you can eat, and then whatever you can, get more of into your system. So if you like red apples, by all means. When we're doing plant-based diet, I grew up eating meat, lots of meat. Our family's Chinese, so we almost eat anything that moves. So, so it was a really big transition going to plant-based. But the key, I think, has been just getting in as much good stuff. Things that you know are good. We all know that greens and fruits and veggies are good and beans are good. But it's just getting it in as much as you can, whether it's through salads or smoothies. It really is, it becomes a lot easier the more you incorporate it into your life like anything else.
Did you ever have a weight problem?
I had an eating problem. I think I've always been pretty petite, but in college I played rugby, and so that kind of I ate a lot to keep up with it, but then also kind of got out of hand. So I think at my heaviest, I think I was probably 20 pounds overweight, but that was because I was primarily eating junk food. At the time, I was just not taking care of my body, and so I didn't tend to eat as healthy. I know, so you're a college student, so you don't have a lot of money to spend, and you think that eating healthy is expensive, so you just kind of put together whatever you can. So I didn't learn to cook until much later, and even then, there's always so much to learn. I learned so much from these ladies, as I come to potluck and they share recipes. It's always such a learning experience to see what else can I do to help my body and to help my kids grow up so that they're getting enough of the nutrients and the good stuff that they eat. At one point, I was still eating meat and I got Bell's palsy, and when I was 24. Bell's palsy is where your half of your face goes numb and becomes paralyzed. And I ended up going on a plant-based diet, and it resolved and it never came back, which was great. But then I went to this masseuse who was, he recommended me going on plant-based, and it was right after Thanksgiving. He said, "You stopped eating plant-based, you ate meat again." I was like, "How do you know?" I had a turkey leg during Thanksgiving. I was like, "How do you know?" He said, "I can feel it in your muscles. They feel different, And I was like, "Oh." And so I was convinced from there. I was like, okay, I won't eat any more meat if it'll help my body to recover. And there's been multiple studies shown, especially orthopedic surgeons, that injuries like ligament injuries, tendon injuries, they repair faster on plant-based diet. People who are eating plant-based diet, people who have less pain when they're recovering. Olympiads who are training, they're plant-based people who train for the Olympics, and they're top performers because the fact is that they recover faster. It's not that they're faster, they're stronger. It's not that they're more muscular, but recovery is a lot faster with a plant-based diet for some reason. So this is a salad pretty much, and I'm just gonna make the dressing that goes in it. So 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just gonna mix it all together in here. 1, 2, 3. Some people are mix and dump and pour and they just like put it in. I can't do that because I'll destroy it. So I have to measure. I'm not that pro yet. Okay, 1 teaspoon of honey. 1 tablespoon. Mustard. Half a juice of a lemon.
Some things I don't, but most
Half of the lemon. And then half a teaspoon of salt. That's a skill I need to learn, is keeping things clean as I go. I'm a messy desk kind of person. Everything's everywhere until I'm done and then I'll clean up. As my mom and dad both know.
as I go, if I can go. Always clean as I go.
Yeah, I need to learn that skill.
It's easier that way.
Okay, goes in. Toss it a little bit, and then it'll just kind of sit. It's best served fresh. And let the dressing kind of marinate a little bit, and that is it. Any questions, any comments, any? It looks good. Yeah, very colorful, very pretty. Yeah, nice entree or side, whatever you decide. All right, thank you.
I think you're next, so I can get over with. I can sit down. Thank you. Thank you, my daughter. You're good, huh? Okay. All right, let's do the herb potato salad. Mine is really easy.
Yeah, the gloves are right here.
And then you go in there and it's wet. My hands.
Do we need this hot plate for anything else?
I don't need it.
Does it need the hot plate for the dishes?
Right. Any questions? No? Okay. I already cooked the potato. I should have left the skin so the fiber will be hydrated. I did not. Okay, let's see. We need 2 pounds of small, this one is not red, I couldn't find red potatoes. And then 1 tablespoon of fine sea salt. You know the potato is very high in, it's an energy food, and a little bit of small potato is already 6 grams of protein. It just depends how much salt you want, but this is 1 tablespoon of salt. I wouldn't put it all, because it might get to be salty. I already made up something for you at home. This is just demo. Oh, sorry. But it's good potato salad, you know, I always make it with mayonnaise, but this one doesn't need mayonnaise and it's so tasty. And half of this potato is from the garden. Yeah. There's that guy there was sitting there with the yellow shirt, he's a gardener. Okay, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. Olive oil. You know, olive oil, as long as you don't cook it, it's very healthy. It's good for your heart. It's good for your digestion. And it just depends. Maybe you don't have to put all of the 1/4 cup. See, it's already shiny. Maybe that's all we need, right? See, that's why it's good to cook your own food, because you know you can control how much sugar you put in there, how much salt. It's really fun, you know? See, I didn't put all what it calls for in the recipe. So, the next one is 1/3 cup. What is that? Parsley. I don't have 1/3 cup of parsley, but I'm sure it's good. This is good enough. Alright. Nice. And colorful. Parsley is good for, what was that? I think it's full of vitamin C also because it's green leafy, right?
And it chelates heavy metals too.
Oh, yeah. Parsley and cilantro, it's like they draw toxic metals from your body. You know, if you have like metals or mercury in your teeth, which, you know, for feelings, then maybe it could help. Let me see, the chopped green onions. Okay, I have chopped green onions. Believe me or not, you know these onions, it enhances the growth of your red blood cells. Yeah, these are just onions there, like there's so many. That's why the Lord created them, so that your red blood cells will increase in number. So use it very much, okay? Yeah. Green onions, they're so good in noodles and everything. And see, what else? Some lemon juice. Yeah, I have lemon juice here. 2 tablespoons. Maybe it needs 2 tablespoons. Back here. Made a mess. All right, it's looking good already.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So what else do we need? Garlic. Garlic is anti-inflammatory. You know how all diseases are caused by inflammation. So, but some people are allergic to garlic, so you know they can use onions. Onions and garlic are the same. They're anti-inflammatory. There you go.
I think they're antimicrobial as well.
Yeah, there as well, yeah. It lowers down blood pressure. What else do we need there? Mustard one, I don't use a mustard. We need garlic, black pepper, I don't use black pepper. Optional. And we have celery. You know what celery does? it gives, it lubricates your joints. You know how when you taste it, it's just like, it's got natural salt already? Yeah, that's what it does in your joints. That's why we can move like this, you know, and like that. Yeah, make it synovial membrane, that's what we call. And that's why I eat a lot of celery every day, okay?
Celery is one of those vegetables that takes more energy to
Yeah.
digest it than it provides, so it's in calories wise, so it's a good weight loss.
And they are alkaline, yeah. They're not acidic, so it's good for your stomach. Okay, I'm done. Wow, that's fast now. And you can have it for breakfast or lunch.
Did you put the mustard in?
No, it's just optional.
Oh.
Yeah. I was
It's optional.
looking at Dihon mustard. I decided I wouldn't buy it because the ingredients was wine. There's vinegar too, but I don't drink wine, so I'm not gonna order my food.
No.
So we can live without it. All right. Our next presenter is Miss Linda.
Thank you, Mindy. We get to eat
Nice good food here.
We get to taste it. Any cooking pasta.
I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting hungry.
I didn't have lunch.
That kind of lasts, doesn't it? I'm gonna try to find my tank about
Okay, this next recipe we're making is the key lime pie. It's on page 5 or 6, somewhere in there. Five. And this is the crust recipe. I neglected to put the recipe in, so I gave you a little sheet. You see it? Does everybody have that little sheet there? Okay. So, the crust we're gonna make is a graham cracker crust. And so, if you don't have a food processor, you can just take your graham crackers and put it in a little bag in a rolling pan, and I'll crush them up really nice. Works great. You can buy graham cracker crust, but you should look at the ingredients. A lot of them have high fructose corn syrup in it, and I try to avoid that, so I find that you can just get the graham crackers that has none of that, and then I just make the crust.
Can you use
So-
a Vitamix? Can I use my Vitamix to crush them up, or would that work?
Yeah, you can. I tried doing that, and it didn't work as well.
Because I don't have one of those.
Yeah,
I have a Vitamix.
I just use a rolling pin or something, probably.
Yeah, the rolling pin actually is easy, and then you don't have to clean that.
That's true.
I like that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, there you go. That's efficiency.
Well, this recipe uses it for the crust and the filling, so it's like, it's okay to make it, I can wash it. All right, so it's 15 graham crackers, and so then we got nice crumbs, and then while I'm mixing it, I'm gonna add the 3 tablespoons. I'm using coconut oil in this. I really like it with the key lime. It's kind of a nice flavor to it, but you can use olive oil too. nectar, on there that you can use. The agave makes your glycemic index isn't quite as high using it. But we raise our own bees, so I love using the honey. So then you take your crust, and I'm gonna put my gloves on now.
Did you put the salt in?
Yeah, you know, that's optional. I find it doesn't need it really. A lot of times I'm cutting salt in half and stuff, but if you're used to a lot of salt, you know, then you like it, but
Oh, you want? Well, the graham cracker has some.
yeah, I'm sure it does, yeah.
Yeah, it's such a salt.
There's a small one. So I just pour it into the pie pan.
Dirty too.
And then just kind of spread it out. This recipe is really fun to do with kids. You don't have to, nothing baked, you know, it's just something you can do, and you don't have to have anything hot. Good summer thing too.
Do you need this?
I will need it again.
Do you need it washed?
It doesn't have to be washed.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so then it's really good to put this in the freezer for 15 to 30 minutes. So we're gonna do a little magic trick.
That was fast.
All right, so right now, if you take your little sheet that I just gave you and turn it over, you'll see a little number on the back. And we are going to do a little drawing. We have our honey that we have good Arkansas honey here, and we're gonna draw for honey.
Oh, wow. Like one.
We're the presenters.
All right. Help me here, Susie.
Okay, our first winner is number 6.
Who has number 6?
Who has number 6 on their back of their sheet?
Number 6? No 6?
No 6?
Number 6.
Oh, wait, maybe it's on David's. Let me look. Let me look at David's. Maybe David will win.
Where is it? Page 5. You should be in.
Nope, he's got 25.
Okay, I don't know. They walked out.
Second one. Number 4.
Yay!
All right.
Is this local honey?
Yes.
We're just north of Summit.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have number 2.
All right.
Linda, your bees were over in my garden.
I know, thank you so much for the nectar.
My cowpeas and my squash, there was bees.
How about
I mean,
number
just
5?
woohoo, I have honey. Buzzing, 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 all the time.
Real honey.
This is fun.
Number
Linda.
7.
Oh, that's you.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Number 7.
Okay.
Can I put these back in there now?
Yeah,
Or do you have another drawing? Oh,
yeah, we've got a drawing here for
okay.
two books. It's helping with being overweight, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and heart disease. We have 2 of these, so.
Number 1.
1.
And number 3.
Right here.
All right.
Hey, look at that.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. Would anybody like one of these? It's looking up all kinds of scriptures and what the Bible says about health. Anybody interested?
I'll take one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Surprising enough, the Bible has a lot to say about health. In fact, the very first place that Adam and Eve were placed was in the garden. And not only was it what they were eating, but it was the health benefits of working in the garden. Did I just, I'll lay this up here if anybody wants these. Okay. This recipe comes from this book. It's, I love veggies. This book is one of my favorite books because she runs a vegan restaurant. And just about every recipe in here I love, because it's really seasoned well. And so I'll have this up here too for anybody who wants to take a picture and look that one up. Okay. So now I'm just gonna get the ingredients out for the filling. But you will be surprised at, we've maybe looked at the recipe already, but it is made with avocado. Believe it or not.
Can you tell us about what avocados to avoid? I understand there's avocados that we shouldn't be eating because they've done something to them. Does anybody know about that?
No, you've never heard of it.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah, there's an avocado that came out, I think it's called
Appeal.
Peel,
Yes.
P-E-E-L, right?
yes, it's been genetically modified and there's like an enzyme or an undeveloped like amino acid or protein or something in it that our body doesn't recognize.
Yeah.
It seems like, it rings a bell with, there's other things that are labeled that, is that not right? Or is
Would it
just
be labeled?
avocados?
It should be like,
Yeah, it's supposed to be on the label.
I haven't seen it.
I heard of the peel, but I thought it was like.
I've seen them at Walmart.
Really?
Peel.
I'll look for it, yeah.
Okay, say that again so I know what you're saying. What's it called?
How's it spelled?
Peel, P-E-E-L, it's on the label,
Okay, so
if it's
it
got
is like it
these
sounds.
other enzymes and so
It's
forth
called
in it.
peel.
P-E-E-L.
Looks like an avocado, isn't it?
Probably been between.
Okay, so I have here, this is 4 of the medium-sized avocados, which we're gonna put in here. This really helps to make it really creamy, and it's a natural fat, which is so much better for you.
Avoid it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we lived in California, and I lived right next to an avocado orchard. The big avocados.
Wow, nice.
But I didn't like avocados. I'm not eating that slimy green stuff. I love them now.
My parents were missionaries in Africa. I was born in Africa. We have an avocado trees in our yard. I love avocados. I couldn't find the key lime juice. You know, that's what's really nice in it. So I just found the lime, which will work fine. This is already measured at half a cup. And then there is some, the Speller Press coconut oil has more of a coconut flavor. If you are wondering why you don't taste much coconut flavor in the other, for some reason it just really helps preserve that flavor, which I like. So we'll make a 1/4 cup of this. Now, the next ingredient in there says like a soy milk powder, which for years and years I've gotten this better than milk, and it's just gone out of, they don't make it anymore, I'm so sad. So, but if you go online and just type in like, vegan or plant-based milks, like here's a coconut, milk one, which would probably be great in here, because you're going with the coconut. There's soy, there's oat, there's a whole bunch of them, so you might just have to experiment, find one you like. But one thing that my husband and I love, we don't use this on a normal basis, the powdered milk, but like if we're going on a trip, I'll make homemade granola and I put the powder in there, and all you have to do is add your water from your water bottle, and you don't have to worry about the liquids and stuff, so that's where I usually use it, and I use it in this recipe. Okay, and then 3/4 cup of the raw sugar. Oh, I didn't put the milk powder in, that's the same here. You know, it's a little bit better because it's not as refined,
Bleached.
but if you have just regular sugar and you're trying to just start, use it. But my thing with cooking is like, just start changing some things, maybe don't change it all at once, but gradually incorporate, and pretty soon you're finding, you're using more and more of the healthy things. So this is what the sugar is in there. It's not, a super amount of sugar really. And then, I think that's it. Let's blend it up.
It is a dessert.
It's a dessert.
You're supposed to take.
I've used this machine so much you can't even see the label on it, but it's a Bosch. And I think this is my 4th machine. I use it, all our bread at home, I grind my wheat, and this has a bowl on it that will make 6 loaves. And it's a wonderful machine. If you're looking for something like that.
Several weeks ago, we invited the first responders from the tornado and from the water damage flooding, and we were just thanking them, and this room was just filled with people from the community who had been involved and told their stories, and Linda made this dessert, and it went.
It was good.
They get, what, avocado? When you taste it, very good.
You never know,
Yeah.
Just don't tell anyone.
I sold this at farmer's market too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I made a mess here. My husband loves it. And it's really fun to decorate, if I was doing at home, I might make little slices of lime, to put on the pie or something. Making food look nice and pretty is key in helping it taste good, I think. So there you have it, and what I like to do is to freeze it. And then you take it out of the freezer just 10 minutes before you're going to serve it, and you can slice it up. It's a wonderful dessert that way.
So it's best if it's frozen first?
I prefer it that way, but I'm sure you could do it without too. And There we have it. You wanna take it home?
Now let's have Susie. Okay. This is our team. Cooking class in Yellville. We're trying to want people to be healthy.
I made the salad dressing the last time and it's very good. It's just lemon and garlic.
It's on low.
Yeah. Well, she had just
Alright. I'm gonna be making pasta and rice.
yes.
Isn't it so delicious? And it's so bad for our bodies and we eat it all the time, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I like quinoa. Quinoa is a seed. And the cool thing about quinoa is it's a protein that it's got all the amino acids in it. So you can eat it, you don't have to have, you like to eat beans or eat rice or anything, right? But this particular seed is like in itself. It's 80% fiber, and it's, for 1 cup, I believe it's 16 grams of protein. So it's just a power food, okay? And the thing about quinoa though, when I had a family when we were young, I didn't learn how to cook until I had a family, and then when we switched from regular, McDonald's diet to real food, I was just wondering, and I didn't realize that you have to do special things. Like, this is what the quinoa looks like dry, but you have to rinse it before you cook it, or it's really bitter. So I'm just gonna walk over here and let you guys pass this around, and just kind of shake it and look at it, so very, and just pass it down. The quinoa, it's really lightweight. It looks like bird food if you ask me. But you want to rinse it. So what you want to do is you can use something like this. You would measure how much you want to cook, and you dump it into your strainer, and then run it under the water and rinse it really good, because there's a powder on it. I don't know if it's off the husk or what, but it's really bitter. And if you forget this stuff, your family will let you know about this. And they won't ever want to try it again, because, when you try something the first time, it leaves an impression on you. So make sure you rinse your quinoa. Now quinoa is a 2-to-1 in a pan, a regular pan. It's on the stove. If you're going to cook it on the stove, you want to have 1 cup of your grain, or of your seed, and 2 cups of water. But I have learned that with quinoa, you can overcook it if you put too much water in it, and it gets mushy. And then it doesn't taste good. It's just, that texture is, you can make cookies after that if you mess up. So you don't have to throw it garbage. You can do something else with it. So what I do for safeguard is when I'm cooking it on the stove in a pan, is I will put a little less water. So if I do 1 cup, then I'm going to need 2 cups, so I'll just go down to 1 3/4 cup. It's always a 1/4 cup less than the 1-to-2 ratio, whatever amount you're doing.
So then, one day, one of my friends brought me this. It was brand new, it's been used a lot, so I try to wash it down every once in a while, but I'm busy, so this is amazing. How many of you have one of these? Just one person? Okay, this is a pressure cooker, but it's got 10, it's an Instapot, it's got 10 safeties on it, so it can never blow the lid off like the old fashioned. Remember the old ones that you screw on? Those ones were dangerous, it's like a bomb in your house. It was dangerous to cook dinner back then, but now they have these. Anyway, this thing sat in my house brand new in the box for a year, because I don't like change. Nobody does. But, and then one day, my friend was coming over, another different friend that had, she was over, and she's like, oh, you have an Instapot? And I said, well, yeah, but I don't use it, I don't know how to use it. She's like, oh. So we made rice or something in it, and she's like, she took it out of the box, rinsed it out, and she just took the lid off. This is the inner lining, it's a steel lining. She threw a cup of rice in there and 2 cups of water in there. She put it on there and plugged it in. Stuck it on there, plugged it in, and pushed that top button that says rice. She closed the pressure thing, and like 10 minutes later, we had perfect rice. I was like, why haven't I been using this? This is great. Well, in the Instapot, it takes 3 minutes to cook this. Wow. To cook it. And then you let it sit for like 10 minutes and it's perfect. Every time. Okay, so that's why I cooked that in there. So this is what it looks like uncooked. After rinsed, you put it in your mouth. I think it was 1 cup for this recipe. It was 1 cup of quinoa, and then it turns out very fluffy in there. So either way, however you choose to cook your quinoa in the pressure, in your Instapot, which I really recommend. You can get these at the thrift store for like $15. Like they're just amazing. Or you can do it on the stove. It doesn't matter. But you just gotta make sure you want your liquid a little bit less, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, after you get your quinoa cooked, just stick it in the fridge and cool it down. And it's pretty loose. And then after you're done, you know, you can, the thing about this is you can put it in a pot, or you can cook it, set this in the fridge, with, you know, fold laundry or whatever you're doing. And then when it's cooled down, you can finish dinner. And even the kids can do this. If you had it, you know, prep for them, if you buy canned corn, this is frozen. If you buy canned corn, they just open the can, throw it in. That's what you're gonna do. Throw it in there. And then you can use any kind of beans, but this recipe calls for the black beans. Corn has a high fiber. Corn is fiber. It's not my favorite vegetable. It can spike sugar. That's why it's very sweet. It's a starchy vegetable. But so this recipe calls for it. But if you were having trouble with that, you could switch it with some other kind of vegetable. But the black beans are really good. They're high in fiber. What else about black beans? I can't remember. They're really good for you. Do they know anything about black beans?
Magnesium and iron, good antioxidant.
Okay, there you go. I know there was something else really cool about the black bean too, but I can't remember what it did. So then you want to just put this is just easy, right? We're just throwing stuff in here. If you have it prepped, if not, it just takes a minute to do that. Now it also calls for a tablespoon or a teaspoon of the cumin. Does anybody have a recipe of cumin?
1 teaspoon.
1 teaspoon, okay. So we're just gonna grab a teaspoon here out of here.
What does that do?
This
We
is
don't
cumin.
have that recipe.
You don't have the
No.
Southwest?
It's on
Page
page number 3,
Yeah,
on page 3,
Yeah, it says superfoods, that's it.
it doesn't have a recipe.
right here.
It tells all about
Above.
quinoa, but no recipe.
Above the,
Here, she's
yeah.
picking this one.
Oh, the Southwest South.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's in there.
Cumin, it smells like taco seasoning, if you don't know. I can pass it around if you guys want to smell it. Does anybody want to smell the cumin? Pass it around. It's the main ingredient in your taco when you buy the little packs.
Okay, that
It
makes
smells
sense.
like taco. So that's what that is.
Cumin alive, it does, it's like in Mexican food quite a bit.
Okay, and then it also calls for a little bit of lime
I'm in Mexico.
and some lime zest. So lime. It says I think it was a quarter cup of lime.
Yeah, a quarter cup.
You can make something together. I put mine in the beans.
Anybody have one of these in their kitchen?
I love those.
They're great. They're really inexpensive.
I need to get them.
And they're great for squishing the juice out. Alright, so we're just gonna throw this in here. We're gonna make a good guess and use the whole little lime. Like this. Oh, but before we do that, we better zest it. It's easier to zest when it has something in it. Now, zest, this is new. Like, I didn't grow up eating like this, so zest is where you just kind of shave a little bit of the skin of the lime into your recipe. Crazy, huh? You're not doing it wrong, no? I don't know why it's not doing it. Well, we're just
Windows,
gonna pretend.
windows.
Who has their window down?
Okay.
Somebody has their window down.
I do.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Other markers down.
You let it sit.
Okay, so we'll just put the rest of that in there. And then it also calls for, I believe, a teaspoon of salt. Let's see. Salt lightly. Okay. So salt is an interesting thing. Table salt is
Bad.
very bad for you. I can't remember why. It's chemicals. And then the other big thing is Himalayan salt or pink salt. That has, I think, 82% of your mineral content in it. But this one here is a Celtic salt, and it has 92, I think, or something like that. 90%. So, you know, it's good to just switch it up. And so I'm just gonna put a little bit of salt on here. Just a little bit. It's clumpy because it doesn't have any anti-kinking stuff. Okay, and then I need to stir that up. Just imagine how fast, I'd never been done if I would have just not talked, right? This is just a quick salad, it's so good. Just delicious. Got all these little flavors in there. You can tweak it and use it if you don't have like, then if you're missing an ingredient. I like to put carrots and cucumber in there. It's one of my favorite things. Or just carrots. Or, oh, but I forgot to tell you something else. When you're cooking the quinoa, instead of using just plain water, I like to use this better than bouillon. You can get it at Walmart. And it's vegetable base. And you just add it to your 2 cups of water you're putting in there. And just kind of stir it up and it turns the water a little brown. And when you cook your quinoa in there, it gives it a little bit more flavor. So that's also another thing that I forgot to tell you. All right, so then this is what it looks like. And then we're gonna quick cut up these tomatoes and the avocado, and we're gonna put those on the top of it. Okay. And we know that tomatoes have a lot of vitamin C in them. They also have lypene in them, which helps with if you have problems with getting canker sores and that kind of thing. Tomatoes has lypene in it, and that helps you with not getting those canker sores. My daughter had canker sores. If you have a high acidic mouth, you're probably more prone to getting those canker sores. I had one daughter who had high acidic mouth, and she brushed her teeth profusely, and she still had cavities. And then her sister, her younger sister, she never brushed her teeth. And she never got a cavity. Poor kid. She used to get so mad. She's not brushing her teeth. Oh, yeah. Genetics is kind of an interesting thing, isn't it? Yeah, in general, I think kids generally like the texture of the quinoa. Some kids don't like the texture of rice. But quinoa is a little fluffier, so sometimes you can for the county, this might be. You can have a little, if your kids can try the chemo versus something else. I like pasta and rice, but you know, it's good to substitute it out sometimes with something that's better for you. It's got higher fiber, so it takes longer to digest. And I just put all of these right on the top here. And then the avocado I'm going to make optional because some people don't like avocado. So you just put that on the side. Just cut those up. And oh, what did I miss here? Oh, the cilantro. Oh, I already made. Oh, that's right. I already cut them up. That's okay. Tomatoes, I have pre. And then cilantro is the other one. This is the amount that the recipe calls for. Cilantro is like parsley. It helps chelate metals. So it doesn't taste like it does, but it helps your body get the toxins out. So it is also very nice. Okay, and that's pretty much it, I think. Any questions on this one?
No, very, that really sounds good.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're done. The next, we're going to eat, so we're just clean this up and display the food.
Kidney or anything. I've been finding some good pastas. If you get the pastas that are made in Italy, they have the good whole wheat in them, just whole wheat and water. And they don't have any of the wheat problems that the United States has with gluten problems, because they don't allow any of the substances that go into the wheat production into Europe. So when you're allergic to something like that, you can go to Europe and eat the same thing, and it won't bother you. And so I've been buying, and you can get them at Harps, for instance, and Costco, various places. Just the Italian wheat spaghetti, and it's excellent. So good for you compared to.
Well, there are other pastas too. There's the rice pasta, garbanzo bean pastas,
right.
The buckwheat, which is the what is that? Japanese noodle.
There is one at Walmart that I like that it has a label on the top that says protein, and you look at the ingredients and it's got lentils and all kinds of other things in it, as opposed to just plain wheat.
I just put everything in my bag. I'm just going to put the avocado for this on the side, so when you come to try it, if you want avocado, you can have some.
Just slice them and use them as sandwiches. Use them as a sandwich.
Yeah, I just learned about this new dish, so maybe next time we want to come again, it's called pumfu. And it's pumpkin seed tofu. Tofu made out of pumpkin seeds.
No soy.
No soy, high in magnesium, and I'm just so excited to try it. My friend just recently told me about it. I have not tried it yet, but it's the way if you process or create it, it's so easy. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a naturally coagulates itself, so it's basically straight pumpkin seeds and whatever seasonings you put in it. And you can fry it, you can eat it, you can bake it, you can fry it, you can mash it. And it just makes it just like tofu, similar texture. So that's something that's coming up, up and coming. Do you have a bucket? Okay.
How are we going to do this? They can pour in line, right?
Yeah, we can just, we'll start on that in there.
Remember to wash your quinoa. You'll have an unpleasant surprise.
This is fall soup.
Say it louder, I don't think they heard you. Susie has the microphone.
Oh, yes.
In the microwave.
Okay, we have some pho soup for our main dish. Compliments and honeydew, so you can save yourself to that when you come up. You have to try this on yourself, right?
The soup recipes are in your book too.
We didn't have time to get more soup, so. Maybe I'll put some pepper.
It's in this little book.
What is it called?
PH, is it PHO?
Yeah. The other one is Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican little.
It's the Mexican one.
No, this one's.
Oh, no, it's not spinach, no, it's the one. Yeah, we need to.
That was a fast rain.
Yeah, Gail ran out to close her windows, I'm sure she's soaked.
Yeah, she was sitting in her car waiting, so it stopped to come back out.
Oh, you can stop.
Registration.
Yeah.
The rest of her big umbrella at home.
Let's serve some of this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should we have a prayer? Yeah. Ask God to bless our food.
When did you get in here? How many of these did you
Dear Heavenly
receive?
Father, thank you so much for this time together that we could share what we've all learned about how to eat a little healthier and help our bodies work better for us. That we would hear you better, Lord. And we just ask that you bless the food that we're eating and our conversations as we eat it and share. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
And you can come over here and just pull a fork out for a spoon. And then we'll have here and go through.
Yeah.
Whenever they're ready.
well, you probably can pretty much, are there serving spoons and all of that?
I don't know, are there serving spoons in each of these? You want to put some?
Now it's 7 miles. What's 10, now it's 7, it's getting closer.
It looks like we're gonna
Oh,
eat.
so it's storm.
The lightning,
Oh, the lightning.
yeah. It's too bad, we got really the last, Susie was the last presenter. So, they had 3 others.
Did you get wet?
I did. No, look at her,
Oh, no.
Why, she was dancing in the rain again?
Was your window open?
Yes.
Is that- Oh dear.
It's cold in here.
And I know it was cold before, but now it really is, so
I
I
might
found a
have a
blanket.
jacket. I might have a jacket.
You got, go ahead and,
Yes, please. Come on,
Yeah.
come on up and yeah.
Come on,
Start at
guys.
this end.
Come on up, guys.
Hey, come on, you don't need a second invitation.
Go ahead and sit down.
thank you so much. The desserts are really good.
But anyway, yes, I got it.
Start down.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so I
I'm sure she thought they did.
All of them.
Yeah.
Where does it do that?
Okay.
Grab the plate, sit here for a minute.
Did you have your window up or down?
I left him up because I thought.
I know, she was warning me, said it's thundering. I said, well, you know.
Hey, you guys want potatoes?
I was,
Oh, honey, I got this blanket.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay. I don't melt. I just put this blanket on and
My husband told me one time that I wouldn't melt you, but I was just getting lumpy.
Oh, well, that's exactly right. That's what happens when you do.
They're both
You
the
guys
same.
know where you like it, or
One plate is enough. Man, I'm not dying. If
oh,
I,
you don't melt, do you?
no, I don't melt.
Mara, if you want something,
Usually I have like a Highland
But that's okay. Just like a little,
do you want a little of this as
like it, that feels good.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
I was gonna tell the recipe.
It looks like some real good food today.
Well, I have already umbrellas in my car. Okay.
I saw you sitting out there in your car, it's like, it was pouring.
I know, I thought, if I wait a little bit, maybe it kind of slows down. But I have got I have two really big umbrellas in the trunk. It's like, you know, by the time I open the trunk and try to find the umbrella, it's like,
If you need another bowl or something, or we can serve up a small.
Mara, what soup do you want to try both, or do you want to share from Mara? That one.
So
people are fortunate to get that.
I learned about the quinoa salad.
now which one is
So the one thing that's different is I don't think she put
You
it
know,
in
you
there.
have a mile
But we used to
and I can go out.
always went over pretty good. We put cumin in
It's
there.
everywhere.
I think we got roasted red peppers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And my cow
Well, let's put the
You
lettuce
know, a lot of
in there.
the bee populations.
Probably have more lettuce than,
Yeah.
And also there's
Yeah,
out
black
west
beans.
where we are, there's these things called hornets. And they're,
Mexican and those soup.
That's what this one is? Yeah.
so that's
my grandson was trying to.
Thank you.
Yeah, so he put it around.
This is your place right here. So that we can kind of talk. Your,
Yeah, yeah.
recipe.
Oh.